And welcome to a very special episode of National Divorce Talk Raw. We'll get right into it in a second. We have definitive proof of something the CalExit movement has been saying for over 10 years. Just because East Coast people are progressive doesn't mean they're like Californians. East Coast liberals are not just like California liberals. And we're going to show you definitive proof that came out recently, backing up something we have been saying for over 10 years. We'll get right to it, but first, take a look at this. Well, thank you for joining us. So the topic for today is CalExit has been saying this for years. Californians are a different culture than the rest of America. Obviously, we mean conservatives in the middle, but we also mean East Coast liberals. A lot of times when CalExit got very big around 2017 to 2019, many people would say, oh, you mean all liberals seceding? And we said, no, we mean just Californians. The response was, well, aren't New Yorkers just like Californians? No. I had been to New York City 4 times. I had seen it. They don't do diversity like we did here. I had said that in the book that started the whole movement about 10 to 12 years ago. I had said that throughout the whole movement. And many people that had come from New York and moved to California admitted that New York liberalism is not like California liberalism. So this week or this month, we got some definitive examples showing how East Coast liberals are not just like California liberals, meaning California is a different culture and we need to become independent on our own and not just with other liberals from the East Coast because they're also progressives. That's garbage. So let's get right to the story. Let me show you the evidence and we'll go from there. Okay, here we go.
Democrats love the idea of illegal immigrants. They love the idea of them being in the shadows, but
every time. Okay,
they're actually confronted with it and they have to explain it to their constituents.
Let's try that again. 1 second. For some reason, StreamYard really doesn't like other videos before. It used to. I never had any problem with this before. Let's see if it works.
The Democrats love the idea of illegal immigrants. They love the idea of them being in the shadows. But then when they're actually confronted with it and they have to explain it to their constituents why their shelters and their cities and their communities are being overrun, then suddenly they want to make the problem go away.
Strong words there from Fox News host Tommy Larrick calling out Democrats for their stance on the border. She called out the left for loving the idea of illegal immigrants until they're actually confronted with the crisis on their doorstep. This comes after the fact that New York City Mayor Eric Adams has planned to set up a migrant centre in the Bronx district to accommodate an influx of illegal immigrants in the area. The district was the one in which the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez represents.
That's right. AOC was mocked for not wanting Latinos in her district. AOC, one of the most famous Latinas in America, one of the most progressive people Californians routinely say, look at her, so progressive, said, hell no, I don't want all those Mexicans in my neighborhood. Shocked? Wow. What's this? AOC tears up New York Mayor Adams' tent plan for the Bronx. Political pleasantries didn't last long. Immediately after Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez made the first public appearance together on Friday, she targeted Mayor Adams' plan to set up a migrant tent in her district and claimed there would be a better solution. So they try to bring a couple Mexicans and drop them off in AOC's district where the Boricuas, the Puerto Ricans primarily live, and she's not having it. Although when Donald Trump was here, she was one of the ones that said Donald Trump doesn't respect Latinos. He puts them in concentration camps. Well, now that there's actual immigrants in her neighborhood, hell no, she's not having any of that. But she's not alone. What? They enriched us. Migrants' 44-hour visit leaves indelible mark on Martha's Vineyard. So this is CNN completely apologizing and covering for Martha's Vineyard. This article tries to make it seem like Martha's Vineyard did not do something that was exceptionally xenophobic and racist on its face. About 50 Mexicans or undocumented immigrants showed up in Martha's Vineyard, and they were bussed out within a day or hours. So this is super liberal Martha's Vineyard. Obama lives there. All the super liberals live there. They dropped off 50 Mexicans, and Martha's Vineyard couldn't handle it and got rid of them. Oh, but they're not alone. 75 Mexicans showed up in Chicago, and the mayor of Chicago lost her mind and went out and criticized Texas. How dare you, Texas, not coordinate with us in Chicago before you sent 75 Mexicans. Yeah, just 75. And the reason I come up with those numbers is that if you're in California, every single city's crawling with Mexicans, thousands of them, right? Name a California city where they're outside of the Jefferson area, where they're racist, where there isn't Mexicans all over the place. Go ahead, I'll wait. Yeah, you can't name one in California. Now, in California, we don't freak out when 25, 50, 75 Mexicans show up. AOC does. The mayor of Chicago does. Martha's Vineyard does. Those are 3 East Coast liberal places that freak out when a tiny fraction of undocumented Latinos, primarily Mexicanos, get there. So a lot of talk, but they're liars, because we never would have deported those people in California. We never would have talked trash on them. We never would have said, oh, I think there's a better plan. We would have just accepted them. And here you go with top 3 liberals can't even do the same thing. So that's definitive proof. East Coast liberals are not like Californians. They do not share our values. And that was massively on display. But I want to show you something else. Here's the Chicago mayor. How dare you, Texas, not coordinate with us? Right? So here's the liberal Chicago mayor's criticism of Texas. You did not coordinate with us. And then what does she do? Mayors hope to coordinate response to migrants from Texas after bus leaves Chicago, arrives in suburbs, later stop Elk Grove. So the liberal mayor of Chicago criticizes the governor of Texas for not coordinating with her. And then she does not coordinate with her own mayors and ships them out from Chicago to other little cities. So the mayor of Chicago did the exact same thing she just criticized Texas for doing. See that? Exact same thing. And I'm just pointing out the duplicity. You know, they say something, oh, they enriched us. They made us feel good. 44-hour visit. You're racist xenophobes, and you got CNN to cover for your racist white supremacy. That's what happened. So let's be clear. And then AOC, same thing. She's a sellout. And here's one more thing. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez said she wasn't sure if an intercultural, interracial relationship would be right for her. There she is, a Latina, and she's going to marry a white guy. Think about this for a second. AOC is going to marry a white guy, and she's like, I don't know if, Latino and other people could get together. I'm the product of Latin people and white people getting together 45 years ago. Nobody debates the question of Latinos marrying Caucasians in California, nor have they done that since the late 1980s. Here's AOC, a progressive liberal, saying, I don't know if white people and Latin people should get married and date each other. We don't even have that conversation in California. I don't know if these Mexicans should be, these illegal immigrants should be dropped off in our East Coast liberal neighborhood. We don't even have that conversation in California. Feel me? See it? Real plain. They don't treat Mexicans or interracial marriage the way we do out here. And they're going back to where we were in the 1980s. That makes them not like Californians. One more thing, I want to point this out to you. Not me alone. I'm not the only person noticing this. Here's this newspaper. You might have heard of them. They're called the San Francisco Chronicle. In this California dream, a rebuke to parts of the country that make a fetish of political tribalism, a kaleidoscope of cultures enriches everyone's daily lives. So California is a kaleidoscope of cultures, and it is a rebuke to political tribalism. Say, like when you're, I don't know if interracial marriages between white people and Latin people work. Maybe that kind of intercultural tribalism that California is a rebuke to. And here's the San Francisco Chronicle saying, Here's our California culture. What do you think of the California dream? What is California culture like? And basically, California culture, September 29, 2022, very recently, is a rebuke to American culture. A rebuke to American culture is what California culture is. A rebuke to American culture. Let me show you that quote. In this California dream, and a rebuke to parts of the country that make a fetish of political tribalism, like East Coast liberals that we showed you, a kaleidoscope of cultures enriches everyone's daily lives. We're multicultural. We're diverse. We don't freak out about illegal aliens. We don't freak out about interracial marriage. But East Coast people do. And just as I was showing you how these progressive liberals don't back key California values that we haven't debated for 30 to 40 years, here's the San Francisco Chronicle just happening to make an article around the same time saying, you know, our culture is not just different, it's a rebuke, a contrasting argument, the antithesis to American culture. Think about that. So when we secede or become independent, stop with the whole East Coast liberals are just like us. They are not, and they massively showed it this week. Don't give them a pass. That is not a California value. See you soon.